be working now. Well, sorry about that, folks. Very bad connection here in the airport. Like I was saying, I'm in the airport in Armenia, and all right, get busy with your gym workout, and I'll do my best to make this happen. I'm sorry, it's have some technical difficulties here. I've tried like 4 different internet connections. This one looks like it might be working better than the others. So restart it, see if it comes up. So hopefully you can see me and hear me now. What I was saying is that we have, somebody says nada, somebody says yep. No, can't see him. There we go. Okay, there's a little bit of the delay. Um, so we just got word about an hour ago that the Israeli Air Force made a massive strike on southern Lebanon. This is the neighborhood of Dahia, which is known to be a Hezbollah hotbed. It's also known to have the headquarters of Hezbollah in it. And that is what was struck. And apparently, it was something like almost a dozen waves of F-35s dropping bunker buster bombs because the headquarters of Hezbollah was deep underground. And um, yeah, it was the explosion was massive. It was absolutely massive. And like I was saying on the CBN Live, it's probably the biggest uh, explosion that Beirut has seen since that warehouse full of fertilizer went up in smoke a couple of years ago. The video of that explosion was the largest non-nuclear explosion I think I've ever seen. Um, so they dropped something like 60 bunker buster bombs on this complex because it was all underground. It was underneath the civilian infrastructure, which makes the civilian infrastructure no longer civilian infrastructure. It makes it legitimate target for a military strike. The IDF says that they were targeting Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, and he was about the only leader left because in the last several days they have taken pretty much every other guy in the senior level chain of command off of the battlefield. They have been conducting precise targeted strikes across Lebanon for some time now, and they've wiped out massive numbers of not only high-level leadership, but mid-level leadership, especially with Operation Grim Reaper. And so because of those two operations, if they were able to uh, take out Nasrallah, which we're not positive has happened, uh, if they were able to take him out, then Hezbollah is now leaderless. They've actually cut the head off the snake finally. Uh, Now, there are claims by Hezbollah that Nasrallah is fine. There are other claims that he's been wounded. This is understandable, as we have. This is something that we've seen before. Okay, so you need to take these claims with a grain of salt until we hear from Nasrallah himself. I would not believe that he is still among the living. Okay, um, yeah, it's a very loud airport, and there's not much I can do about that. So sorry about that. So yeah, there is video out there you can find of the smoking crater that was once the Hezbollah headquarters, and that I can't show it to you here for several reasons, but we will put some up over at chuckholton.com. So you can go to chuckholton.com and you can see footage of this, or you can go to my Telegram channel and see it there. I'm forwarding it over there as soon as I get it. So what we will likely see in the coming days is two things. Number one, we will likely see a ground incursion by the IDF into Lebanon. They would be absolutely crazy not to go into Lebanon now. And so it's just, we've been kind of waiting to see what they had up their sleeve. This apparently was it. And the other thing that we will likely see is a kinetic response from Iran. And of course, the Houthis will throw something in there, and anybody else that is mad. We're going to see an uptick in, uh, responses from the proxies of Iran and from Iran itself, most likely. Now, if Iran does not at least do something, it will show just how weak they have become. If they do something, they will become even weaker because uh, Israel has already said that they will uh, respond in force if Iran fires anything else at Israel. And so, what we very likely could see in the near future is a regional escalation. Now, the United States is trying very hard to avoid that. The the U.S. is saying they were not involved in this. They did not know about it until the operation was already underway. That Yoav Gallant apparently was on the phone talking to Lloyd Austin, Defense Secretary, and let him know after the operation was already happening. And this operation took place while Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking to the United Nations. That is pretty gutsy. I mean, this is a king move for sure. So while he was castigating the United Nations, because that's what he went there to do, he said as much. Uh, Benjamin Netanyahu stood up in front of the UN and said, I didn't want to come here. I have no business being here because I need to be with my country, which is fighting for its life right now. But I had to come here because of all of the lies and misinformation that was coming out of this podium from members of the United Nations. Now, he was not speaking directly to those members for the most part because they got up and left as soon as he got up to speak. He was speaking to a largely empty chamber, and that is absolutely, disgusting to watch those people walk out and to turn their backs on Israel because they've been trying to defend themselves. And so, while he was talking, this operation was already underway, and uh, this is what we know so far. Again, for those of you that just came on, hi, Christopher. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. For those of you that just came on, it looks like the IDF has targeted Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut. They have conducted a massive strike on the headquarters of Hezbollah. They've taken out that headquarters with bunker buster bombs, about 60 of them. They say that's a lot, by the way. That's a lot. They didn't leave any room for error in that. So if Hassan Nasrallah was anywhere in the neighborhood, there's a good chance that he is standing before his maker as we speak. Um, Again, the word coming from Hezbollah is that he's fine. Some reports say that he's injured. They have called Reuters and the AP and said, "Oh no, he's fine and he's going to speak here shortly." They did the same thing after Qasem Soleimani was killed. They did the same thing after Fuad Shukr was killed. They did the same thing after Mohammed Deif was taken out. There were a lot of, sort of rumors going around that no, he's really still alive, and everything like that. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, one way or the other. All I'm saying is that until you hear from Hassan Nasrallah himself, I would assume that he's probably no longer among the living. And if that is the case, then that changes this battlefield for Hezbollah. Like I mentioned before, uh, that means that the entire leadership structure of Hezbollah has now been taken out. The top like 25 guys all gone because of the operation, Grim Beeper. that took place a week ago, that took out most of the mid-level guys. It didn't maybe kill them or delete them completely, but it definitely took them off the battlefield. So you've got a lot of guys who are still in the hospital, a lot of guys who are without sight, without fingers, things like that. That doesn't mean that Hezbollah won't be able to mount a response to this. They probably will, and it'll probably be everything they've got. They, whatever the response we see from Hezbollah, I would say is likely going to be the largest response that they can mount, that they can come up with. Again, they're begging Iran to respond kinetically, and if they don't, they're going to look tremendously weak. But if they do, Israel has already said that they will kinetically strike Iran. So we're about to find out what they've got. We're about to find out what Hezbollah has left. We're about to find out what strength Iran can mount. Okay. Now I'm right now about to get on an airplane and go to Jordan, which will be right in the middle of all this stuff. And so I will report to you when I get there what the sentiment is like. Jordan is a country with 60% Palestinian people, and there's a kid over there screaming like somebody's murdering him with an axe. Uh, Good heavens. Can you guys hear that? I don't know if you can hear that because of my uh, headphones. Are you wearing headphones, babe? No. Oh, you're not. So you're not listening. Um, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but heavenly days, that kid is. I mean, you know what you see when you come. What?
Oh, just keep moving.
Oh, okay. What you see is when you're in places like this where there are a lot of Muslims, they do not discipline their children. I'm sorry, they just don't. Like it's very very rare to see a Muslim discipline their child, and their kids are just holy terrors. And maybe that's I don't know. I don't know if that's just part of their culture or what. Maybe if we have some Muslims watching, they can let me know why that is. But we've heard from some Americans who work in the Middle East, and they'll say, "Yeah, if you're working with kids of Muslims, you cannot correct them at all. You cannot discipline them at all. You can't do anything." And man, do you see it when you're on the airplanes. One time I was on an airplane and there was this Muslim woman with a kid that had to be like 4 years old. And the kid was standing on the, the dinner tray of the seat in front of them and jumping up and down during the flight. And the person in that seat was like, going on, like about to get bounced out of their seat by this kid. And the mother wouldn't do anything about it. I've seen kids running up and down the aisle while the airplane is landing. They just won't discipline their kids. It's crazy. So, question from somebody: am I going back to Israel? Yes, I am. It's going to take me about a week to get there. Please pray that the border will be open because we're taking a group, and we'll be crossing the border into Israel on the I don't know, like the 5th or something. And so I'm praying that whatever craziness is going to happen is going to happen between now and the 5th. If you're watching this and you're in our group, yes, the trip's still a go. We're going, and safety third, folks. So let's do it. We are not going to be in the line of fire per se, and we're not going to do anything that is, patently, ridiculously dangerous. But I expect that whatever is going to happen is going to happen from Hezbollah up in the north, and maybe there will be a strike from Iran. But if there is, they're going to get hit pretty hard. Israel, you can bet, is already laying out exactly the missions that they will perform to strike Iran if Iran fires anything, so much as one missile comes out of Iran at Israel. You can bet the strike is going to be pretty fierce. And being here in Armenia, we've been talking to a lot of Iranians. There are a lot of Iranians here in Armenia because we're right next door to Iran. And talking to them, they all tell me We don't want war with Israel. We don't hate Israel, just the government does. And they also say, we don't think that our government has what it takes to strike Israel because the government is about to fall apart as it is. The government in Iran is so weak right now. The economy is in the toilet. And they know that if they strike Israel, the economy is going to get a whole lot worse because Israel is going to start taking out critical nodes of infrastructure across Iran. And as a matter of fact, in his speech today, Benjamin Netanyahu made it clear we have the ability to strike Iran in any part of their country. That Israel is ready, willing, and able to strike any part of Iran that as soon as it becomes necessary. So that is what I've got so far. I wanted to come on and give you that, update. That's what we know so far. Again, the IDF or the IAF, sorry, conducted a major strike in the neighborhood of Dahia in southern Beirut today with 60 bunker buster bombs to strike at the heart of Hezbollah, at their headquarters, and they turned that headquarters into a smoking crater. I'll be putting videos up of that at chuckholton.com here shortly. Now, if I just want to mention too, before I jump off of here, I just recently made a video about how to survive the whatever will happen in America after the election, because we can imagine that there may be some unrest in the United States after the election. And if that happens, you need to know what to do to keep your family safe. So I'm putting up a series of videos about that. And you can go to chuckholton.com and you can watch that video, or I put up a condensed version of it here on YouTube. And if you want the notes from that talk, if you want the written notes, I put them in booklet form, and you can get them if you're a subscriber. I'm sorry, a supporter at chuckholton.com, not just a subscriber. You have to be a paying supporter over there at chuckholton.com to get that. And okay, am I pagan or born again? No, I'm born again. I hope that was a question for me. So thank you, Hannah. And thank you guys. Please thank our moderators too, because they're doing a great job. Um, can you share? Can I share notes with my neighbors? Yes, feel free. If you are able to get those notes, if you're a paying supporter and you get that booklet, you can print it off. You can share it with whoever you want. Okay. So yeah, you can't hear the kid. Yeah, it's crazy. Uh, okay, so that's all I've got, folks. Thank you for watching. I'm about to get on the airplane, and I will update you again when we get to Jordan, which will be in, I don't know, a few hours. Okay? God bless you. Take care. We'll see you next time.